Hello, everyone. I am Mark.
I'm Rob.
And welcome to Mark and Rob's Sports Showdown, the hottest and best sports talk show on YouTube. And we are growing fast, believe it or not. I'm not just saying that. Anyways, last night, unfortunately, yesterday we found out that Jerry West died, and we're going to talk about that in the second half of the video. Also, unfortunately, not that I have anything against Boston, I just wanted a better series. Boston won 106-99. I thought they were going to win last night, Rob. And I thought Dallas was going to win last night, and I was wrong.
And I was right. I got to write this in my diary.
I wrote this. I was right about the first two games. I had Boston winning those first two games. And I'm disappointed because I wanted a series.
Yeah, well, and then even Boston's still trying to give the game away to Dallas near the end. I don't know what they're doing. They had a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, and then they almost gave it away. I'm going, what are you doing? I guess
they did that 2 games in a row. They had didn't Dallas go on an 8-0 run in game 2? Right. So when they were up by 15, went down to 7. So, anyways,
yeah. But being Boston, maybe they're just toying with Dallas, and so they just said, okay, maybe they're covering the odds at Vegas, whatever. So, but they end up winning, and and then Tatum finally kind of showed up. Brown's always there.
Yeah, let me talk about how important that game was, just for people who don't know. 156-0 are the teams that are up 3-0 in NBA history. And 4 times in hockey, they've come back, and 1 time in baseball. But in basketball, it's never happened. And if it was 2-1, hey, they're in there. They still have another home game right after, 2 days later, and they're in there. But I thought they were going to win game 2 for several reasons, and they're all logical, and they were actually favored to win by Vegas. Number 1, they were at home, obviously. Number 2, they lost 2 straight, and they've been a hot team. It's unlikely a hot team is going to lose 3. Some of the players were due, especially Irving was due for a big game. So, some of the other players had not played that well. And so I just at a chance, odds are they're going to play better, but they didn't. They did play better. Actually, Irving had a really good game, and so did a couple other players, but they blew it, and now it's 0-3, and the series is over.
Yeah, they had the perfect advantage to take advantage of that, at least get that one win in there. But the Irving showed up, and Luka did his thing. But like I was saying before, is that they need that third player to step up in there. Hardaway, who was a starter, I guess he was hurt. He was a starter. He came in and he didn't do that well. He didn't shoot that well.
They talked about that he was. They didn't say he was injured. They said he's out of the rotation lineup. I know he doesn't play great defense, but he's really streaky offensively, and for some reason they haven't played him.
Yeah, he's a very streaky shooter. If he hits those threes, 3 in a row, he's a very streaky shooter.
Right, but Lively played great, and again, I can't imagine they only give him 24 minutes next year. They're going to do something. They got Gafford and him. This game was 30 minutes and 16. I don't know where the other 2 minutes went to, but usually they play like 24.
Right.
He needs to start, first of all, but there's nothing wrong with Gafford. Gafford's good too, but they play the same position, so I don't know what they're going to do about that. But he was 5 for 6, and he had 13 rebounds and 2 steals and 11 points. But just unbelievable hustle, and he's going to be a great player. And Gafford, was 3 for 3, but only got 3 rebounds. But he played fewer minutes. He had 16. So I don't know, just something to think about.
Gafford didn't play as well as he did the other 2 games. He was kind of off this game. I don't know why. He's at home, but he wasn't that much of a factor in this game with block shots and things like that.
No, he had 1 block shot, but Irving had a great game, and not surprising because he doesn't have 3 bad games in a row normally. He's 13 for 28, 4 for 6 from threes, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, and he had 35 points and 3 rebounds and 2 assists. No steals or blocks. Doncic had an off game, and he fouled out, as you probably know if you watched the game, with about 2 to 3 minutes left, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I didn't write it down, but he was 11 for 27, 1 for 7, and he had 6 rebounds and assists and a steal.
His problem is that he was doing way. He was back to his old self with whining. He even said that after the game, he's complaining about the refereeing. But if you look at the personal fouls, they're actually even. It was 17 and 19, and same thing with the free throws. They're virtually even. So I don't know what he's talking about.
No,
they missed the call on when Tatum came in and dunked it, and it was a nice close up of the guy grabbing his arm while he's going up for a dunk, and the referee didn't call on Tatum. So I mean,
No.
So don't try to like blame the refs.
Also, they play too much one-on-one ball.
Yeah.
Boston does too sometimes, but they had 26 assists and Dallas only had 15. So, if you want to look at why you lost, how about playing better team ball and less one-on-one ball? And Porzingis didn't play last night if you didn't watch the game. So they won without Porzingis.
And their defense, that they're in that junk zone, and you can hear the coach for Boston yelling out, "That's what you do. You go zone, and then they move the ball around perfectly against the zone. That's what you do quickly." And one time, Irving's head was turned. He didn't know anything. And Brown passed the ball, got the ball in the corner, and swished it. And so it's like defense is not that good.
Right. But anyways, the best plus minus yesterday was from a guy named Hauser.
I was going to say, I was going to let you do
that. We have the same last name if you don't know what I'm talking about. He spells it exactly the same as I do, with an A. And he was a plus 16. And they were talking about how good his defense was, and he can cover a variety of people. He can cover guards and forwards because he's more agile and quicker than you might think he is. Everybody thinks these white people are slow, but he was a plus 16.
You are, but
And he was 3 for 4, but all of them with 3-point shots. So he was 3 for 4 for 3. So and that's a second game in a row. And he's played really well this series. He was embarrassingly cold from the 3-point line in the playoffs before this. So, anyways, he was the key.
He played great defense. He was switching. He was actually directing the defense out there. I was cheering for him. I was cheering for Hauser.
In only 14 minutes, he got 9 points. All right, but really, seriously, it was Tatum and Brown. But Brown had the best game. He was 12 for 22, 2 for 9, and he also had 8 rebounds and 8 assists. So he had a great game. And I just want to say, I know that you're upset that Drew Holiday got the Olympic spot instead of Jalen Brunson. His on-ball defense is great, and Derek Brown's is too. But you could just watch him play, and that's Caitlin Clark's biggest weakness is on-ball defense. Mm-hmm. She should hire him in the off-season, or Michael Jordan.
Hire me. I don't mind. I'll teach her.
Okay, well, you're not as famous, so
no.
Hire someone like him, to do that. Have someone teach you a floater. There's a lot of players that can do that.
I pointed out Drew Holiday, but then I also pointed out the other players that don't play defense, like Booker.
Oh no, I know there is. That's why he's on it, because so many of the players don't play defense.
He's just out there for scoring. Yeah, but I can see why. I mean, I see the point where he's going to be like their stopper if they have this when they play against the international teams. He plays tough, and then he's scoring. That's what's really cool. He's scoring.
He always could score. I think he's not an aggressive scorer because there's so many options on this team. And even when he was with Milwaukee, they had 2 options that were ahead of him. So, anyways, Tatum was 11 for 26, 4 for 3, with 5 assists and 6 rebounds and a steal. But he had 31 points. So he had a pretty good game. He didn't shoot great, but he didn't shoot poorly.
He's another. That's another. I mean, he's another. This is one-on-one. I was looking at his shot. I'm like, I kept on going. That's a terrible shot.
Yeah, he forced some shots. That's why he didn't shoot as well.
Yeah, I was like, that's a terrible shot. And I would have, as a coach, I would have either called him over and said that. I would have told him that's not a good shot.
And Jaylen Brown reminded us why we watch men's basketball instead of women, except for Caitlin Clark with that one thunderous dunk.
Oh yeah!
Wow.
That was
worth the game right there. I mean, I'm not really a super dunk enthusiast. Like I don't just watch any of the dunks, but every once in a while it's a great dunk, and I go, wow.
Yeah, that was nice. I think he's going to get MVP when Boston wins. He's going to get MVP for this. He won it for the Eastern Conference Final. He's going to win it for the NBA Finals.
I think so. And I think he was upset about not making the All-Pro team. And if you don't know, he got the 16th most amount of votes in the top 15 make All-Pro. So I'd be upset too, because there's always someone that's going to be 16th, and that was him. And I think that really motivated him in the playoffs.
Now, do you think he should be on the Olympic team too? My gosh, he looks the part.
Well, if Kawhi Leonard's injured, and if he's not available for the Olympics, it's only like 5 weeks away, then I'm sure that's the first choice. Because what you said, Jalen Brunson is injured with a wrist injury, so he's probably not eligible. So anyway, yes, I agree with you, and I think it's an obvious choice because he was the only one that didn't He was the next highest rated player in the All-Pro team in his position. So anyway, that's what's good. So it's 3-0, and they got one more game in Dallas, and I can see them winning. I don't know who's going to win, but I can see Dallas winning this game. But Game 5 in Boston, it's over with.
Well, I'm going to stick again. I don't think they're going to win Game 4. I think that.
Yeah,
I mean, they've had two chances in the series, and then they've come back, and Boston has weathered it. I think just that they're showing who's the better team. Boston is the better team when they hit those threes and play better defense, all around play. It's just they're just the better team. This is definitely the better team, and Dallas is playing like a fifth-seeded team right now.
I agree that they're going to win. I'm just saying Dallas has a shot at winning home, but they're not going to win.
Of course, everybody has a shot at winning. Yeah, anybody.
Boston. We didn't mention that was 17 for 46, so they were 37% from threes. That's 17, and Dallas only got 9 threes, so 9 for 25, and they shot a lower percentage, slightly. So anyway, I think that's what's going to happen. It's either going to be Game 4 or 5, but I think they're going to win. I think this, unfortunately for the NBA, they're not going to have a long series, and also unfortunately for the NBA, the ratings are low. I don't have the ratings for this game. The first 2 were low. First one was the lowest one for a while. So that's not a good sign for the NBA, but I think if they had a more glamorous matchup, maybe they would. Maybe, I don't know, like Boston's a glamorous team. I think that, Denver defending champs would have got higher ratings.
Oh yeah, Denver. I think if Denver was in there, probably would have been a little bit higher, but I don't know if it'd be the rate. I mean, the games would be a lot closer.
Okay. Yeah, they would be. So anyway, that's our take. Sad news, as we mentioned, Jerry West. They did a nice tribute to him on Pardon the Interruption, where Tony Kornheiser said he might be had the most complete career in team sports history or something like that. And that's because he was a great executive as well as a great player. And I've done rankings for greatest NBA players of all time. I have around like 15th or so. And that's how great he was. And, the second half of his career, he was better than Oscar Robinson. Oscar Robinson seemed to age more than he did. He seemed to have a longer prime. If you don't know, he had to put an autobiography out, and he had a rough life because his dad was abusive. So that was his release, was to go out and practice basketball. He made his own little basket and put it up there, and that's how he became such a great shooter. But he had a sad career also in pros because he was 1-8 in the finals, 0-6 against Boston, and he also lost in the NCAA finals too. So that's rough. He didn't win an NCAA title, but he won Olympic gold, and he won one title with the 71-72 Lakers when they won 33 straight, and they cruised through the league. So go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, but my tribute to him is that, like, being a Knicks fan, of course, we faced him twice and beat him.
You were.
That's right.
You were on the bench for that game, right?
Well, see, I was probably 71, 72. Oh, geez, I was like 5 or 6. So I was coming off the bench.
Was that year they played? Okay.
Yeah, but the Knicks beat them. And in one of the games, he drained a 50-foot shot. Well, Walt Frazier was like
60-foot shot. 60-foot.
Yes.
Shot. Put it in
60-foot shot. Yeah, and if you watch the older replays of games, that they constantly show that shot. And then, of course, back then there was no 3-pointer. It just did to tap the game and went to overtime, and they lost. But, that was crazy. That was a crazy shot. But him, like I said, I watched him play during those years, and
he was
my idol. My idol was Walt Frazier. But next, I have to say, was Jerry West. He was a great shooter, great defense, all defensive player. Great defense, great passer. He was just great, like the all-around player, like Tony said.
He was one
all-around player.
He was 1-2 against the Knicks and 0-6 against Boston. He goes, "Those damn Celtics" is a quote from him.
But the Celtics gave him a better tribute than the Lakers did on yesterday. I was listening to a sports talk show.
Really?
And the Lakers put out a little thing about him, but they never went into about his career, how he helped the franchise. When he was a player, and then also how he came back and he started the Lakers, the whatever they called it, the nickname, greatest show on
Greatest show on earth.
Yeah, he started that.
He started
Showtime.
that name. He made
Yeah,
up that name.
Well, he started. Yeah, that's what put it.
Really, I would have thought it came from a sports writer or something.
Well, he drafted. So he got rid of Vlade Divac, the center, and drafted a young high school guy named Kobe Bryant. They switched, and then he brought in Shaquille, and like I said, and that's the story as the story goes.
Right. So, well, he brought in James Worthy. I understand too. He was responsible for getting James Worthy, but that's what I understand. So Jerry West is a player. Just so you don't know, he was a shooting guard and a point guard. Early in his career, he was more of a point guard, but then they got Gail Goodrich, and he switched to kind of over to shooting guard. But he switched back and forth. He could do everything. He played defense. He was clutch. So he didn't really have a weakness other than back then. If you watch the dribbling, it's not what you see today. But his dribbling.
Today they get to carry. So
pardon me. Yeah, but at least he dribbled and didn't carry the ball. Yeah. But if you watch it, because I've watched games, I started watching basketball in '69, so I did see him play at the last part of his peak, and I thought he was a great player then. So I didn't even see him when he was in his absolute peak, but he didn't age much. He like I said, he played really well through even as he got older, because he was such a versatile player. And they didn't have all defensive teams in the '60s. He would have made several of those. They did. I don't think they started that till around 1970 or so.
His problem is that he started getting injuries, and even during like the playoffs and during the finals, he was hurt. So that's what kind of probably the reason why. And then other players on his team got hurt.
Right.
So that's why he played in the finals.
He got the Final Four MVP, even though his team lost in college. And you'll never get that nowadays. Like Caitlin Clark should have been the Final Four MVP 2 years in a row, and she didn't get either one just because their team lost. They automatically give it to the other player. In fact, he's the only player in NBA history. I don't know if this goes for, it might be for all major four teams in the United States, who got MVP when the team lost.
Right.
The Celtics, it was a 7-game series. And you can see some of those games on YouTube where he just takes over the whole game and just scores constantly. And he could create his own shot, and he's just a great shooter. And he had no 3-point shot back then, and he had a great outside shot. Just like people say that about Pete Maravich. Well, he could drop him from outside. And
one year they were saying, I was listening to a sports talk show. They said one year him and Elgin Baylor, the average between them, they were averaging 70 points.
Right.
Between both of them.
If there was a 3-point shot back then, they might have beat the Celtics a couple times.
Right.
He would have been a better shooter than anyone on the Celtics.
Oh yeah, his shot. Now they say he's the logo. I mean, we always thought he was the logo. If you look at the NBA, but he's not. But I'll still call him the logo. I don't care if they.
No, what I found out is that he's not officially the logo. But he's not unofficially the logo either. It just looks like him.
Oh, well, to me it looks like him.
Oh, of course. No one's disputing it's him. It's not official. I don't know why they decided to do that, but they did. So the unofficial logo has died. It's very sad for the basketball world. He was a great executive and a great player.
Right.
He's in the Hall of Fame for 3 different things. He won Olympic gold. He won 1 championship as a player. And so he did have some success, but he had a lot of heartbreak too, given his father, and then losing the NCAA finals, and also losing eight times in the finals. So anyway, it's a sad day for basketball. Like I said, I have him around number 15th. I think that's pretty common around people say that. He's definitely in the top 20 player of all time. And he's not in the top 10, I would say. So anyway, but that's still really high. He's probably underrated among, people that are younger, who didn't see him play, who didn't realize how great a player he was, because he had an all-around game. So he really deserves to be ranked high. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right.
Hey, so don't forget, we have a live show every Monday, except for major holidays, Eastern time, 7 to 8. And we're looking for you to subscribe, because we need more subscribers. Right there at the notification bell when you do, so you can get notified of our next videos. And please make some intelligent, non-insulting comments, and like the videos and share it with your family, friends, and enemies. And anyway, so we're going to have, of course, we'll have a recap of Game 4. And then we'll cover the NBA draft. And, of course, we're going to have some Caitlin Clark videos out today. And we follow basketball, football, and the Olympics. So get ready for that, including the basketball and the Olympics. Unless Caitlin Clark's not in the team.
Not women's basketball Olympics.
What was that?
Not women's basketball Olympics.
No, that's what I said. Unless Caitlin Clark's not in the women's team, then we're not covering it.
Right.
I'm on strike on that. I'll cover the Olympics. I'll cover the men's basketball. I'll watch every minute of the Olympics except for the women's basketball team if she's not on the team.
Right.
And sorry, if Donna Taurasi is on the team, she should be on the team. And feel strongly about that. And for many other reasons we've given, she should be on the team.
Right.
And
all righty.
Anyway, so
take care, people. Peace out.